Hello folks, welcome to the channel Jose. Today we're going to give you an idea how to replace the front link kits for the sway bar on a 2017 GMC Sierra, and this is going to be for a few models, but this covers from 2014 to 2018 GMC, Chevrolet, and Cadillac. We're going to leave in the description box what models you can do this job to, and if your suspension looks like this, it's going to help you as well. So we're going to show you how we do this replacement, so that way you don't have to take it to shops and save a lot of money. And with that said, let's jump right into it. When we're doing this job of replacing the link kits to this front sway bar of this truck, what we have to do is we have to lift our truck, set the front end on jack stands, and take the driver's side and passenger side tire off and have the front suspension resting so it's relaxed. So we have lifted our truck, set it on jack stands, took the tire from the passenger side off on the front. We come over to the driver's side, same scenario, because we need the sway bar to be freely from pressure. So we're going to show you what we're going to be doing now. Sway bar link kits are these guys right here. This is it. It's a long bolt that comes from the bottom up. There's a spacer here to keep a distance for the sway bar from the lower control arm. And there's a bushing here. There's a bushing here. The spacer, bushing and bushing. And then there's washers on both sides. So we got to take out the nut and hold the bolt to be able to slide it down. And we have to do the same thing to the passenger side. So let's look at the passenger side link kit. And we're on the passenger side, and that's the link kit for the passenger side now. So first thing I do, I get some WD-40 lubricant and I spray it into those threads, because we're going to be unscrewing or undoing this nut from the driver's side and the passenger side as well. Here is the box. This is the Duralast Gold, and the part number that we're going to be using is a GSL 700 538. That's the part number. Sway bar link, and there's two of them, one per side. So we got one out of the bag already at the box. This is the bolt side. This is going to be sitting like this. So then the sway bar is going to be right between this, and the lower control arm is going to be sitting right between these two bushings. So it's going to be sitting like this. So this is a kind of like a nut washer here. So we're going to start taking the passenger side off and the driver's side off to install these guys. So what we're going to start doing is by taking off the driver's side. You can start with either side. We're going to be taking off this 15 millimeter nut. We're going to hold this bolt down here, which is a 15 millimeter. We're going to be using a wrench, and we're going to take off that, and then we're going to slide the bolt down. And if it doesn't let us, it's because there's going to be pressure from the other link kit pulling the bar down. So we're going to have to go into the other side as well. We got to take both sides and off, and then so might be some tension here from the other side. So let's take off this 15 millimeter nut. Now that we have taken out the top nut, we can take this bushing off, and then we can pull right from down here straight down. This is going to stay here because it's just a spacer. But if you can't pull it down and there's tension, go take off the other side, top nut off, and that's going to relax everything off. This is the bolt that we just took out. As you can see, went through all the way like this. So it's a long bolt. So now that we have pulled that bolt through, this is just sitting there. We can probably pull this off a little bit and slide that off. It's just bushing and a bushing rubber piece, and then the hard plastic with the tube inside. So we can probably do that. And if they don't want to come out, go take off the other side first. So this one didn't want to come out because there's pressure. This is pushing down. So we're going to go take off the passenger side off, so this sway bar relaxes more and we're able to take this out. So now we can take off this nut, take it off, and then we can loosen the sway bar and relax the tension, because what it's doing is pulling down right here, and what it's doing in one side, that's on the other side. So that's why we couldn't take off this middle piece off, because it's being pinched by what this other link kit is doing. So we're gonna take off this so we can go out into the other side and remove that the spacer off. Now that we have taken off that top knot and the bushing, we can pull this bolt straight down, and now we can swing the sway bar a little bit up, and that's gonna allow us to take off this spacer out from this side and the other side. So we pull this down so we can start take all these components out, go to the other side, take off the other one, and start installing the new one. So now we took off the spacer, and we just pull the sway bar up and down, up and down. Whatever we do to do one side, the sway bar is gonna do on the other side. So we push down on this passenger side, it's gonna go down in the driver's side. If we go up, it's gonna go up in both sides. So right now, the other spacer from the driver's side fell off because it was just pinched there and it fell off. So we don't have it. So now we can install the new sway bar linkage. But we're gonna go into the other side and move it up and down and see that what we do on one side, that's on the other side. So now we're gonna be pushing down on the sway bar. So you're gonna see that in the driver's side, when we do that, the passenger side is gonna react as well. And as you can see, we push down on the driver's side, passenger side did the same thing. Pull it up, passenger side did the same thing. So whatever you do on one side on the sway bar, it does it on the other side as well. It's like a copy machine. It just copies one end and send it to the other side. So that's what it's doing. So this is the link kit that we just took out from the passenger side, and this is the driver's side broken down to show you how it looks like. Bushings are pretty bad, so we're gonna be replacing them. There is a spacer that goes right there, keeps the space between the sway bar and the control arm and the bushing. So we're gonna be replacing this and we're installing the new one right in the passenger and driver side now. So here we have the old link kit, the new link kit. This was plastic. This is metal now. So the spacer is metal, more solid. So to start, what we're going to be doing is that we got the bolt, washer, bushing, and a spacer, or this guide right here, as you can see, this guy. So that's what's from the bottom being fed upwards. Now what we do is we feed bushing with this cone thing down, and then the washer, and it ends up like that. So now that we have that sequence, we put the sleeve that goes in between. So now that we have put the sleeve, we put the washer, and then we put the another bushing with the funnel, or this kind of looking funnel thing facing upwards, and then we try to feed it through the hole of the sway bar. So now that we have that, and the bolt is barely want to show through, but what is happening is that we have to get this long sleeve that is threaded, put the bushing on it, and as we fit it in, we can tighten it, and it's gonna grab on. And this is gonna be that long nut that is gonna thread into the bolt. So now we grab this and threaded it from the top down. So once you have set everything for one side, don't tighten it, just leave it to where it's a couple threads in there, just holding it together. Because if you tighten this down, the sway bar is gonna compress on the other side, and you're not gonna be able to get the middle part for the other linkage because it's gonna be so compressed. So you just set it, leave it there, and then we start and go and install the other side. And once we have both sides preset, then we tighten both sides in, because one side can complicate the job for the other side if it's tightening down. So now we go and install the driver side, or if you're doing driver side, go install the passenger side and just barely leave it there. So then we come back and then tighten in both. So now in our case, we still have to put the driver side, which we're gonna put in. So now we have presented the driver's side as well. Everything looks good. So now that we have the driver's side set and the passenger side set, now we can tighten them both completely down. Doesn't matter which one we start with, so that we can start putting the system back to normal. And what we're going to be doing is we're using channel locks to grab the upper piece. So then when we spin the bolt, this piece doesn't spin and it starts compressing everything together. So once you start tightening it and then it completely comes to a point where it stops, you just turn it a little bit and then you're going to feel that it's completely tightened. So now that we have tightened the driver's side, we go and tighten the passenger side. And there it is. We have tightened in the passenger side as well. So there it is. We have replaced both link kits, both sides, one per side. And then there's the two old boxes from the new ones. There's the two old ones we replaced or took out. And there's we use a channel locks, a ratchet, just in case. And we had a 15 millimeter wrench with a 50 millimeter deep socket to take off the old link kit. And for to put the new one in, we use just the channel locks and we use the socket to put the new ones in. So now all we have to do is just put our tire on the passenger side in and put the driver's side tire on, take the jack stands out, and now we can start driving our truck back to normal. Well, folks, hopefully this video was useful and helpful on how to replace the link kits on the suspension for this truck. And like we said, we're going to leave the description box, the models that this job can be or this part fits to. So if your suspension also looks like this, it might help you how to do this replacement. The most important part of it is be safe when you're doing this job, because these sway bars can have tension or energy. If one tire is sitting on the ground, the other side might be have a pressure. So you want to be safe. Just set your car in jack stands, relax the front suspension, and you can do this job. And with that said, folks, for our friends who are watching a video and haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. If you like a video, give us thumbs up, share it, and we'll see you soon with more videos here en el canal, El Chano Jose.